I think most of you probably know Nathan. He's going to be talking about something a little different today. FIFA World Cup 2026. Looking forward to hearing that. When I asked for a tidbit to share, we found out Sodexo Campus Conference Services supports over 80 million people globally every day. Those are some big numbers. Nathan, before you get started, if you could tell us a little bit about yourself and then dive right in.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Amy. For those of you that haven't met me before, my name is Nathan Ruger, and I represent Sodexo's Campus Conference Services brand. And so, what that really means is out of the 350 plus college campuses that Sodexo has contracts with across the country, my role is to help assist any college campuses that are interested in building their campus conference programming. And ideally, either finding resources, efficiencies, or even external business that we can go out into the marketplace. In a nutshell, I'm basically a cheerleader in general for advocating that college campus venues are a viable solution for event planners that are shopping for spaces to host their organization's events. Whereas I do, of course, work closely with all the campuses across the country that have Sodexo as a partner, I truly am just a cheerleader for really just bringing to the forefront college campuses as an excellent source for folks looking for something unique or for solutions outside of the traditional marketplace, like a traditional conference center, convention center, or hotel. And so I'm really excited today to just briefly explain to any of our listeners a little bit more about how I can be of service to you if you are a Sodexo campus. Although I absolutely, as I mentioned, am a big proponent of just being able to bring business to any ACED-I fellow members. And I'm more than happy to do that. It's really just a passion of mine. And so I'll just play a quick video that basically advertises in general to professional event planners and their organizations what Sodexo college campuses can offer their organizations. So just bear with me for a moment and I will cue this video up and debut this. We just came out.
Finding the right place to host your event is about so much more than selecting a physical location. It's about having peace of mind, knowing that a professional, trustworthy team is working on your behalf to plan, promote, and deliver a memorable event that elicits excitement from your guests and attendees. Sodexo Campus Conference Services is the one-stop shop that helps planners host memorable, profitable, and experience-driven events. From the East Coast to the West Coast, our network of carefully vetted college and university campuses are uniquely positioned to offer distinctive venues at popular peak destinations, state-of-the-art facilities, and one-of-a-kind amenities that you won't find anywhere else. Our venue portfolio offers a budget-friendly pricing structure that includes access to a full suite of services to accommodate any need, large or small. And attendees will rave about your event long after it's over, once they experience the unique activities, vibrant academic atmosphere, picturesque environments, and the strong sense of community that is found only on our partner campuses. We are ready to show you how easy it is to delight the attendees at your next event when you partner with Sodexo Campus Conference Services.
All right, well, welcome back. Again, Nathan Ruger with Sodexo Campus Conference Services. The video that you just saw is a really strong example of basically how I go out into the marketplace and interact with professional event planners and help try to attract external business, as I mentioned. Most recently, I was at a hosted buyer trade show. For those of you that might not be familiar, these are marketplaces where there are established appointments with event planners, And then suppliers, such as ourselves, campuses, have any given set time frames, anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes, where they basically just get to sit down and pitch whatever their vendor supplier services are, or primarily venues to help attract business. And so most recently, there was a Connect Marketplace, which our friend Diane Hackenholtz has been to, and I've met with her before at a number of those shows. But it really stuck out to me at the trade show that I was just at the end of August, where the buzz was really all about the FIFA World Cup coming. And anecdotally, I would say about 1 in every 3 people I was talking to had some sort of relation to preparing for the FIFA World Cup coming to North America, or they were a vendor that was looking for different folks in cities across the country that would be hosting. And so today, I wanted to just kind of share with you a playbook that I had drafted, just really as a public service announcement. I think a lot of our college campuses could really benefit from just starting to think about it. And don't feel like it's not too late, but it's certainly not too early as well, basically, to prepare. And so in a nutshell, why does it matter? FIFA USA Soccer is, and its host committees is forecasting over 3 million foreign visitors coming to North America in summer 2026. So a little over 10 months from now, right? And so the volume goes far beyond just stadium capacities. It spills into entire metro regions, and really actually the secondary markets as well. They're predicting about 1.5 million ticket apps will be taken just within the first 24 hours. Demand is definitely going to outpace supply for any given number of industry needs, from housing, food, gathering spaces, activations, etc. According to the World Cup Club that just happened this past spring, the hotel ADR, average daily rate, it actually spiked up 45%. And so whereas there will certainly be certain fans and visitors that are perfectly fine with spending that extra amount in the traditional hotel lodging market, it's safe to say that not only do we have an opportunity as any of our campuses that are selling residential space to take advantage of, if you're not already selling out your spaces, also think about pricing if that's something that you can be flexible with. And so here's just a quick breakdown of college campuses that are within a 150-mile radius of a host city. And so I'll let the numbers kind of speak for themselves. The audience out there, you know who you are, or at least you should, as far as your proximity to any of these cities. For those of you that might be well outside of these boundaries, there's still a lot of takeaway for at least leaning in, paying attention. And we're going to talk about later about how other groups that might be displaced from these cities, where they traditionally meet or gather on an annual or regular basis, because of the World Cup coming in, and spaces and lodging being sold to folks that are visiting specifically for FIFA World Cup. So when I was at the conference, as I mentioned, some of the solutions that came up that I realized campuses are exceptionally positioned for include volunteer staff, right? So really thinking well outside of, folks that have a ticket and are going to the stadium and watching a soccer game, right? Or football, excuse me. So tons of volunteer and staff that are going to be involved in making these things happen within these cities. Are going to need the same thing that we all need as far as housing and meals, right? And certainly these volunteers and staff, depending on who's funding them or supporting them, will not be putting these folks up in any hotels, I promise you, within at least 20 or 30 miles of where these games are taking place, just because the lodging rates in traditional venues are going to be so high. Another group that I came across at the recent conference was really in transportation and with charter busing. These folks absolutely have their staff to take care of, but they are also going to be needing plenty of space to park these charter buses and to have drop-off spaces and loading zones where folks are going to be commuting in. And so in my previous backgrounds working in some entertainment facilities, I always was staying in tune with, well, where do these buses and these trucks go after they've either dropped off participants or equipment or things of that nature. And one thing that college campuses certainly have as an asset, sometimes it's a premium for our city schools, are parking lots and parking spaces. And so we should all be thinking dollar signs when we see what we can offer the transportation industry. And just, as a quick note, when you're looking at different charter and transportation companies, I know we should all know at least who our regionals are. It's good to look out for IMG, which is the International Motor Coach Group. They're kind of the preeminent group, just like we with ACED-I are always looking for other campuses that are also members of ACED-I, because we know that they have bought into and participate in an organization that's been certified, basically. Media teams. So this is where you're going to have different media outlets from all over the globe that are going to be coming in, not necessarily just ESPN and the big TV production companies, but plenty of other news outlets that'll be coming in as well. And they're going to need places to gather. They're certainly going to be looking for high-tech spaces, which is something that we know college campuses excel at, and things like that. Then we've got our sponsors and our brands that are certainly going to be looking for spaces for like activations and other just fan experiences. And these things will not always necessarily happen directly next to an athletic arena or stadium. There's all sorts of other opportunities that we're going to talk about in the next couple slides. Fan groups as well, of course. From every country, we're going to have different organizations that are going to be traveling in groups, which is ideal for a lot of our campuses that typically have minimums and don't do individual traditional kind of hotel bookings, right? We're going to want to be looking out for that fan club or that other organization that's coming in to watch their country's team in nice big group sizes of 50 or 100. And then there's the displaced associations. As I mentioned before, these folks are going to be looking well outside of any one of the 16 major metro areas because unfortunately they can't host the same meeting that they've always hosted, year after year because they've just been priced out. So spaces on campus to leverage. I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but I just wanted to do a quick reminder as far as when you're framing what you have to offer in the open marketplace. For the lodging, of course, we'll likely be leaning more towards residential halls and suites and apartments. When we're talking about dining, we're going to want to work with our dining partners on campus, see what kind of extended hours But also, this will be a common theme throughout this presentation is being mindful of having signage and advertising in different languages, of course. And so multilingual menus would be one. Again, just talking about the bus and motor coach, as we've touched on. Certainly these folks outside of any visitors outside of game time, we'll be looking for other activities to take advantage of. A lot of our college campuses across the country feature unique facilities that maybe a downtown property or other types of venues might not be able to have. Team meetings and huddles. This is every organization needs a rally point. So whether or not you're selling food or overnight spaces, perhaps, for those volunteers or whatever affiliate groups are supporting in any form or fashion. This could be public safety for that matter, that are just looking for a space that you could rent them so that they can have a rally point at any given time during the very busy 2 months that we'll be hosting next summer. And so private watch parties is another thing to think about. You're going to want to be able to leverage your tech equipment on campus, and then maybe some of the different subscriptions or licensing that you have to be able to stream international games and things like that. And the plaza and the arenas continue to show up. So one of the biggest things, if you take anything away, would be certainly designing and starting to map out how you want to package the different products and services that you have on campus, and be able to bundle pricing. I know we talk about this a lot. There's a lot of resources and templates actually within ACCED-I's library that discuss, this principle. And so now more than ever, to organizations that might not have college campuses on their mind as an option, you're going to want to look at that as well. And so this is just a couple of rudimentary examples from a basic kind of, let's say the transportation folks, they might just need lodging and then maybe a grab and go breakfast in the morning, and just access to some sort of food option in the evening time whenever they get back from wherever they're going in the day. So your property and your services and what can make sense. All right. So as we get closer, I just want to throw out a few key demand signals that you're going to want to start putting your ear to the ground on, right? And so each one of these milestones is definitely going to be something that you're going to see surge in just the forefront, and you're going to probably hear other campus partners starting to pay attention and maybe even ask you what involvement, if any, your college campus could be having. Biggest one that I highlighted here, of course, is that December 5th date. Definitely put that on your calendar now, because that's actually the drawing day, right? So on December 5th, we will officially find out what countries are playing in a given host city. So by the end of the day on Friday, December 5th, you're going to know if you're in Seattle at a college campus there within that vicinity that, let's say, Brazil's going to be playing most of their games there. So immediately, you're looking at your signage and your advertisements. You are translating those into Portuguese, and you're already bracing yourself for an influx of inquiries and potential demand from that specific group. Yeah. So these are just things to think about. And then certainly as the fan festival starts to get announced in the springtime. Another quick note on that, though, certainly start having conversations with your contacts at your local convention visitors bureaus. Some of them should be actually hosting town halls as early as right now. They might not be able to announce certain things and specifics on some of the events that are going to be happening. But you at least want to create those relationships so that you can get ahead on any announcements that are going to be taking place from your city and state tourism boards. Marketing flywheel. So here we're just talking a little bit about our search engine optimization and keywording. What does that mean for us? Perhaps you have a Google profile for your conference business on your campus. You might want to go into that profile and actually add something to the effect of summer 2026. We're welcoming FIFA World Cup visitors, really taking advantage of being able to insert any of those keywords into your online profile, basically, so that if folks are searching, it'll just give you a better chance of being able to come up. And then segment outreach, again, you're definitely going to want to just stay close with your convention visitors bureaus. Each region, as we already know, and I'm sure you all lean into certain cuisine or culture, but also taking a look at maybe some of the values or value systems of certain countries that you can lean into and certain things that are unique that you're offering in your town or city or campus. And again, just really just leveraging the latest communication channels. So, doing any research on what social media applications are more popular than others for the countries that are going to be gravitating towards your region. Again, after that drawing and after you're aware of which countries and which groups will be traveling from whatever countries across the globe. And so thinking outside, again, of just not necessarily the ticket holder to a game that's happening somewhere in the general vicinity of your college campus. There's just going to be so much more to offer folks that might not necessarily be going to the game itself. And we've already kind of touched on the different watch parties, activations, plenty of folks that just want to be a part of the experience, even though they might not actually get a ticket into the game. So here I've got 4 really great case examples. And so I just wanted to kind of comb through these and help people understand some of these, like the Houston Fan Festival. This is data that just happened earlier this year. So as you can see, in Houston, they saw over 500,000 visitors over the course of 39 days. And really, this audience created an enormous demand. And so what campuses in the Houston area were able to satisfy was the overflow parking and the shuttle staging, just as we've talked about, as well as housing, right, in the residence halls. And those volunteers and vendors that are needing service at a reasonable price, right, that we know we can offer compared to the surge hotel pricing that are close to the stadiums and arenas. And then that extra just hospitality, right? We know we have these spaces on college campuses that are underutilized in the summertime, and how we can offer those, as a service, right, as an added revenue stream. And renting. So the Club World Cup, again, in 2025 overall, they saw a hotel average daily rate spike over $300, right? So again, thinking about your pricing and potentially if you do have the ability to adjust just during those surge times, I would advocate to take advantage of that, right? And still be able to, as we know, absolutely come well under what our hotel competitors are going to be charging. And so as far as campus fit, you're really just going to want to be continuing to advertise the bundle packaging that you can offer, the affordable lodging, and then your extended stay options, and maybe even setting longer minimum night stays or larger group minimums, just so that you can really lock in better rates and potentially cut down on the number of points of contact and how you're selling those spaces. So activations that are just examples. We know that they used a couple of different companies used just this past year as basically dry runs. And then it's already been announced a few of the major sponsors and suppliers are going to be doing major activations all throughout the regions of each one of the host sites. And so, yeah, Verizon and Visa obviously, are definitely big power players and certainly have strong budgets when it comes to what their needs might be. Michelob Ultra, they did a bunch of rehearsals in Houston and Philadelphia just this past summer, and so they're already preparing for how they're going to be positioning themselves, their brands, and the pretty substantial investment in activities that they're going to be doing. So, as far as policies on your college campus, obviously, safety is a priority during the summertime and during the academic year. And so, this might not be a good fit for everyone, or you just might need to set those boundaries depending on what types of groups that you're looking to attract or might be reaching out and inquiring about utilizing your spaces and your services. And so these are all pretty straightforward that I'm sure you're all aware of. If you need to talk to your IT departments just about certain separate lines that might need to happen, different networks on campus, and other types of services as far as internet technologies related. So again, just a quick reminder and a run through, and certainly feel free to do your own research on the key dates. But yeah, ticket sales are about underway right now. December 5th is a very important date. And then there's going to be some playoffs that are going to determine a few of the countries and what cities they're going to get plugged into during playoffs in March. And it's the fan festival announcements that are going to be getting announced by your state, city, and regional tourism boards. So you better understand what's happening in and around your immediate campus, that you can catch some of those tertiary benefits. And so, yeah, it's important to also note that even though the final game is happening in New York, technically North Jersey, MetLife Stadium, on July 19th, the show's far from over, right? So all the folks that are still involved in making this global event happen are going to still need services as the cleanup and the post-event continues to go underway. So I wanted to just kind of leave everybody that comes to this call with a couple of takeaways. And so I did create a checklist that I'll be able to share with anybody, and I can put it in the chat as well, just to get you and your team thinking about exactly what you could be at least evaluating and entertaining the idea of potentially taking advantage of this really kind of once in a generation event. Old enough to remember the 1994 World Cup. I'm not sure if the United States was soccer was as prevalent then. I know it was definitely before the Major League Soccer League. And so maybe folks weren't as in tune, but certainly, it's been 31 years and we've seen how big the sport has grown. And so it's really just an exciting time. And so, yeah, June 2026 will be here before we know it. And so if you're not already, certainly start thinking about updating your listing and what your summer 2026 is going to look like. If you might not be able to set your pricing until January, that's fine, but certainly putting yourself out there as, hey, we're open for business, or that your campus would be welcoming any different groups that might be affiliated with FIFA. Certainly start putting yourself out there now. I would encourage everybody again to at least come up with 3 packages just to kind of bundle things, keep things simplified. Certainly even think about as you're advertising what small things that might be of low cost or no cost to you that you could also just throw in there, just as our competitors in the larger marketplace can do. Things like free parking, all the other creative ways that you can kind of bundle things in within a set price. And again, I know I mentioned it before. If you aren't already, though, you should absolutely be in tune with your Convention Visitors Bureau. Try and even maybe pilot some watch parties and see how they go on a regional basis. We all know all the popular American sports that happen in fall time. There is a Winter Olympics this winter, so maybe you could test out a few different spaces. Maybe if you have the luxury of having a restaurant on campus or a larger space that traditionally sits empty in the wintertime, and putting yourself out there and seeing what kind of different turnout you might be able to get from hosting a watch party, maybe in one of your nice lecture halls or one of your sports facilities that isn't being used during the Winter Olympics. And so that is it for me. And
Awesome, Nathan. That
take
was
any questions.
that was great information.
Thanks, Amy.
I think people are really going to enjoy hearing how they can become part of FIFA or, get in on the action. So we appreciate that.
Absolutely.
If anybody has any questions for Nathan, feel free to contact him directly, or if you need help, please email me and I'll get you in touch with him. Thank you, Nathan. We appreciate you and Sodexo being part of this event. Looking forward to seeing what you guys do for the coming FIFA year. And thank you to everybody who joined us today and yesterday for Partner Connections Day. We're looking forward to more exciting adventures with ACECED-I. The first is going to be a new website that's going to be unveiled the end of this week. That's where you can find all of the presentations from this year's Partner Connection Days. So please make sure you watch them all and get great information. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.